You'll look at commitment issues differently when you finish this video. I'm Dr. Margaret Cochran, and I help highly successful women create the relationships of their dreams. So I've been seeing someone for a while now. You're enjoying spending time together and getting to know one another. Everything seems to be going great. And then you have the define the relationship talk, the dreaded DTR, and suddenly everything changes. The person becomes less responsive and more evasive. And when you attempt to talk about future plans, they avoid the subject. Do you sit down with them and talk about what's happening? And when you do, you get some version of the following. Well, I have commitment issues. I'm afraid of commitment. I'm a commitment phobe. Hopefully this happens pretty early on in the relationship and you can get out because they aren't kidding and it's not a small issue. However, sometimes the conversation happens further down the road once you're more invested and established. In some cases, when things get more serious, your partner pulls away. They ask for space, they request a break, or they just leave. The term commitment issues gets tossed around quite a bit, but what is it actually? Well, generally what it means is literally the person who identifies in this way is uncomfortable with intimacy. They like you or maybe even love you, but they're concerned they won't be able to meet your needs and expectations for commitment. Read it as this: they have problems with adult long-term thinking, decision-making, self-confidence, reliability, monogamy, good boundaries, and a soupçon of compromise and sacrifice. These issues can be rooted in a number of things, such as cognitive distortions or false beliefs about reality, negative romantic encounters they've had in the past, family issues such as contentious parental relationships, or a really nasty divorce between their mother and father. That said, while you may want a monogamous relationship or marriage, that's not always everybody's endgame. Some people have convinced themselves that if they commit, they're going to be stuck or suffocated and lose themselves because they struggle with boundaries, as we've discussed previously. For others, they're so afraid of being rejected that they want to be sure they reject you first before you can do it to them. It could also be that your partner's lost interest in you and is using commitment issues as an excuse. In any case, when somebody pulls a commitment card, it's really important to take them at their words. Now, I said earlier that if someone says they have commitment issues, you need to take them at their word. However, a lot of people who are committed to a relationship view partners who say they are commitment challenged as a challenge, and they create a narrative in which they can persuade their phobic partner to change their mind because they, the committed one, are so kind, so loving, so giving in their interactions with the commitment phobe that everything will be fine. And then when after they do all that work and their erstwhile partner's commitment phobia doesn't go away and there's still no promise of monogamy, living together, or marriage, the already committed partner becomes deeply hurt and resentful. And one of the things that makes this so difficult is that some people with commitment issues can also give you mixed signals to try and create in some distance without losing the partner. The plan is to keep you guessing and so confused that you won't push for change. That way, the commitment phobe can enjoy all the advantages of the relationship without giving their heart. This type of person may be hot and cold, avoid conversations about the status of the relationship or next steps like moving in or getting engaged. They may refuse to plan a vacation with you, for example, for the following year just because making concrete plans that far in advance is not okay with them. They may even limit the amount of time you spend around your friends or family so they don't get too attached. People with commitment issues are often severely conflicted. Part of them wants a relationship and part of them doesn't. Internally, they're secretly hoping that somehow magically it'll all come together and in the end, they won't have to do anything that they're uncomfortable with. But you can't have an intimate relationship when a partner has one foot out the door. Frequently, people who are commitment phobes have something called avoidant attachment style, meaning that intimacy is too uncomfortable, so they always keep everyone at arm's length. This type of person doesn't like to rely on anyone, and they want to be extremely independent and self-sufficient. And this can be incredibly frustrating to potential partners who want to be close and emotionally open. So your partner says they're a commitment phobe. What do? Well, if they're interested, you can go to couples counseling with them and see if you can work through the issues. But remember, you can't help someone who doesn't want to help themselves. While you may make efforts to work through commitment issues, if your partner is unwilling, you have to realize it's time to stop. If your commitment goals are not aligned, it's going to destroy the relationship, full stop. And although it may be painful to end things in the short term, in the long term, it's a loving thing to do. It releases your commitment phobe to finding another cretinophobe. Yeah, that doesn't end well. And it allows you to move forward to find someone who has the same values that you do. I look forward to our next conversation. I'm Dr. Margaret Cochran. There's a link in my bio if you want to explore working with me. Like, comment, and follow for more.